All right, guys. So this is a map of it's a derivative of a lot of projections about what the world will be like in 2021. So I quickly want to go over it. So one of the first things you notice is that everything is kind of color coded. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of you can see that there's certain blocks. So it's a multipolar world. So there's the Western bloc, the United States. Um, Mexico, and I think some of South America. Then there's the Brazil block, which is right here. It's got Brazil, Peru, Santa Cruz. Yeah. This seems like it seems more closely with the Panama area and the Caribbean. So I'm guessing that the United States has more influence over them, and Brazil would have more influence over these countries because they're, you know, I feel like they would Brazil would just have influence over them, and Argentina and Chile they seem like they have a lot of naval connections, so I'm not surprised that the United States has influence over them. Now let's take a look at Mexico right here. It's not exactly American. It's got some yellow in it, so it means it's part of the Chinese bloc. The Chinese have already started making inroads into Nicaragua. They want to have competition with the Panama Canals, and they're trying to build another one, but that's not going anywhere because that's going to destroy that little freshwater lake over there. If they do end up creating a canal, so that's going to be bad for that. And look at this. Canada exists. Quebec is free though. Quebec is has alliances with France and the EU. So all these countries that have this little blue halo are part of the new EU. And I don't know. I think that in the future that Russia is not successful it's not as successful as it wants to be. It's got Ukraine, but everything else is pretty much Russia's favor. But Russia's got some really good diplomats. That's where Russia really excels in. You should take a look at Lavrov. He knows how to talk crap. He's very smart with that, and in diplomacy, that's what counts. Honestly, it's just it's a popularity contest, and the coolest kid wins. And Lavrov is pretty cool, and he knows how to talk crap. So yeah, but France, after the departure of the UK from the EU and basic weakening of the European states, France has gone back to its imperial ways. So Italy is firmly within the EU's grasp. So is Spain, like and Greece, and you know, some of Germany, but they have their own bloc. I think it's like looks like its own little Nordic or Aryan bloc. I don't want to be too too no Germany there. But yeah, the former Warsaw Pact states are within the EU. Let me double check real quick. Is it the EU? Well, yeah, it's blue. It's blue. All right, the European Union. Yeah, EU still exists for some reason, and yeah, and Africa is part of it. Hmm, there you go. France recolonized, and this is a bunch of France's former colonies, and Algeria's kind of they did fight an war of independence against France, but then they kind of made up or something. But this is very interesting over here. We have Turkey, and I know Autofautist is a big Turkophile, so I'm seeing no Kurdistan, so sucks for the Kurds, unfortunately. Well, yeah, but the Turks basically they control the headwaters of the Tigris and the Euphrates, so they're going to do a lot of expansion, and surprised Syria still exists. I'm not that keen on Syrian geopolitics, but it's crazy to see how I wouldn't expect here to exist. It's one of my first time just looking deep into the map. I'm glad Jordan exists, but Saudi Arabia, man, it's gone. It is completely gone. Yemen, I mean, Yemen is wow, Yemen is it's not big anymore. It's thin Yemen now. And there's all these other states. I think they're going to be a lot like the UAE and Qatar and Bahrain. They're going to have their own. They're going to have their own issues. I'm not saying this specific area. It's got a little coastline, but I'm not seeing this prospering as much. And you can see from the HDI map that it's not that prosperous either. But yeah, Hijaz, that's where Mecca is. I don't know if it still has that political pull as it does now. I don't know if religion is going to religiosity is going to increase. It seems like it's on a decline, but it could make an upswing. So Egypt kind of shrank. So one of the reasons is because Ethiopia is building a dam, and that dam is at the headwaters of the Nile, and that and Egypt lives or dies on the Nile since ancient times. That's why Egypt exists, because it was basically a totalitarian state up until I don't know. It's still it pretty much is. So whoever has control over the Nile controls the entire country. The rest is desert. It's just that Nile, and Sudan just murked Egypt. So I don't know. Ethiopia murked Egypt. I think Ethiopia has some power sharing agreement with Sudan that they're letting Ethiopia dam up that river that flows through Sudan, but I don't think Sudan is doing too well. Darfur got out of Sudan. It seems that Sudan is in Sudan now, and I think Southern Sudan joined the EAF. That's the thing that's seems like it's happening, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. But the EAF, it seems like it's doing pretty well. Katanga, I think that's the if it's doing pretty, let's see the HDI on this. Not doing that bad, but see what the HDI is. 70, 80. Yeah, it's basically a country that's yeah, but it's in the future, so that's not that good, but yeah, but an HDI of that amount is not that bad either at this rate. So yeah, Katanga, Angola, all these countries are within the EAF circle. Ethiopia's got its own little it's influence zone. I see Ethiopia prospering. Eritrea is gone. That country shouldn't exist. It's like and I don't know. No one's controlling Djibouti. Djibouti doesn't exist. Neither China nor France controls Djibouti. Chad is just being, Chad as always. Oh wow. I'm surprised Congo and Congo still exists, but it's not gonna have Katanga and Angola. It just the Congo it doesn't seem like a coherent country because it's the opposite of Japan. It doesn't have that much of a coherent area, but it's in the francophone area, and Libya got murked after Gaddafi, so yeah. Design, I don't see that one doing too well. Yep, it's an outlier. It's got no coastline, so it's at the mercy of whoever controls its water. I know there's aquifers, but yeah, it's basically that. Tripoli, Tunisia, um, hmm, sounds like a thing. Iceland is in. Oh, Ireland's free. Yeah, it's that's happening. Northern Ireland is slowly being chipped away due to various factors. People moving out, people assimilating to the Celtic Irish traditions. So yeah. So the United UK and Iceland, it's within. I think it's in the Anglosphere. The red ones are all Anglophone countries, and these blue ones. So France basically controls its half of the EU with Italy and Spain. I think Catalonia got its independence. Look at that. Good for Catalonia. What is Portugal a part of the EU? But it's green, so yeah. Oh yeah, Brazil. It colonized Brazil, so it's definitely gonna have some. It's in the Brazil sphere. I think Mexico has its own sphere. It's not the same color as China, so Mexico's got its own little domination over here going, and United States is still kind of controls it. And ooh, United States has control over Cuba finally. Oh, look at that. You got a little patchwork of EU countries over there, and you got a little bit of France. France's biggest border right here. That's the largest border I think that the EU has. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think so. And uh the UK, Kanzuk now still controls the Falklands and all these various islands. It's a naval empire, and I think the Cape area is part of the EU as well. Is it his own thing? Let me check. Is it his own thing or not? Yeah, it's his own thing. It's not the Islamic Prosperity area, but part of the Commonwealth of Nations. So, okay, yeah, the Europeans are okay. Oh yeah, yeah. So it's part EU, or part this Anglo area. And these colors are confusing. It's the Islamic area. It's not, and this is completely different. Kanzuk. All right, this is like core Kanzuk, pretty hardcore. It doesn't have any other alliances. Papua New Guinea is part of it, but yeah. And England's got like half EU, half English, so they're large neighbors. So I don't see that ever like just due to proximity. It's gonna be tied to Europe, no matter what. But the the Anglos are going to still pursue this Kanzuk thing, and Kanzuk's is a thing in this world. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, so that's basically Kanzuk, and let's go over to Europe a bit. Eastern Europe. So Russia just conquered, just has its influence over Ukraine. I think after whoever is after Putin didn't do that much of a good job because Putin's such a strong character. I don't see any decent successor to Putin. So whoever's gonna be the next guy after Putin is not gonna do that much of a good follow up. Let's take a look at the Balkans a bit. Albania has got its little independence. Serbia, not that I don't know. Is it more Islamic? But Turkey seems like the leader of the Islamic world now. Let's take a look at that. So now it's just not a part of this Islamic whole prosperity area. What's it called again? Islamic Prosperity Union. Hmm. So these little dots mean it's part of multiple unions. Economic unions. That makes sense. Not a political union. It's an economic union. Yeah. It's gonna have some economic connections, and Canada, yeah, it lives or dies on the U.S.'s win. So yeah, all right, let's take a look at the rest of the world. Turkey's got its little empire over here. That's another pole of this multipolar world. So we got Persia right here. It's got its claws everywhere. Iraq is just doesn't exist anymore. It's got all this infighting, the Shia and Sunni, and I'm assuming these are Shia parts, or Bahrain. Bahrain's oh, I got it wrong. It's Sunni. Yeah, this is the Sunni parts of the world that is like heavily Sunni Arab, and they went to the Turkish area. These three, and as well as Egypt and Albania. Now, hmm, the Saudi Arabia doesn't exist, and everyone took a big chunk out of Egypt. I guess Israel joined into the great game and took a big chunk of Egypt as well. So yeah, Israel kind of solidified its gains from I think the '60s, the war in the '60s or the '70s, one of those wars. But basically, that was it. And Greece has oh, it has this part. I thought that was somehow Greece got that one. I think there was probably a war in the uh, war somewhere, and Turkey decided to go east instead of west. Yeah, I don't think it's yeah, it's got its own little union. It's not a part of the EU. I know Turkey wants to be part of the EU, but it's better off by being by itself. I think this is a better option for them. So wow, is this is thick Israel, and it's not part of any big state. The Suez area, yeah, I think Europe controls the Suez area. It's its own thing, huh? Suez zone. It's like a free trade or DMZ in this world. No Djibouti, no. So I don't know if China has any bases that are very tiny. Hang on, sorry about that. That was my alarm. Yeah, a lot of new countries. Nigeria split. Wow, that's surprising. I thought Nigeria would do well. I guess that little population boom kind of broke broke the country. Senegal, Gambia, uh, Arwea, Arwea. I don't know how to pronounce that. So Equatorial Guinea exists. Gabon. I think this is part of the Anglosphere because there's a big Anglo population there. Seems yeah, I don't think the Anglos are gonna let it go because it's a huge trade hub right there. It's kind of connecting the Atlantic and the Indian Oceans. It doesn't directly connect, but it's a trade route. See all these trade routes going through and in and out of it. So regardless of the water crisis in the futures, I don't see it really falling down as much as some of the landlocked areas. I feel like this is gonna prosper no matter what because of sheer trade, like just the fact that trade routes go through it. Madagascar, Comoros, yeah. France owns a bunch of stuff from here. Yeah, that's the Kirkland Islands that France owns. Oh, right here actually. That's just some other islands. And Europe and France are having these little dots. What's green? Hmm. Oh, it's Brazil. All these things are French and French and American holdings. America still controls Hawaii. Yeah, Chinese haven't got to that yet. All right, so let's move over to yeah, let's take a look at this German. Or is the this is the Fifth Reich now, or the actually it should be the fourth. Maybe it's the fifth. Maybe there's another a Reich in between. Denmark, all these Nordic countries are part of the German Union. It didn't go no Germany. I guess they learned their lesson the first time, so it's not going the bad way. I think this is something they did peacefully. It seems like it's gone peacefully. Borders still exist. Poland still exists. Oh no, I said it too soon. Poland kind of lost Silesia and Czechia. I think this was a part of Poland. Yeah, it's some little redrawn maps. I don't think it's they did 1939 again. Germany would have had more land, so I think they just let it go. Let it be like that. Norway, Sweden, Finland, Ireland, San Marino, Croatia, Albania. Yeah, it's got a pretty big Muslim population there in the Caucasus area. Turkey grabbed those up from Russia. It had some gains, but it had some losses as well. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and it lost some more land. Sylvia, I'm assuming it's just the Chinese just moving in, just the sheer amount of population shift kind of changes that. Oh, Lake Baikal, the Russians lost Lake Baikal. What's going on? That's sad. That's terrible, man. I mean, you could just have all these uninhabited area, but if you lose Lake Baikal, that's like you pretty much lose the little lake area. It's a water source. How are you gonna sustain this area without having total control? It seems like they got all the coastline too, so something bad happened. I know it looks good, but I don't think so. I think that's like too good. And Ukraine's area, this is like one of the coldest areas in the world, so yeah, Russia might have control over that, but I think it's being stubborn. Russia is being stubborn. It's got control over Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and the other stands it doesn't have control over. So get back to Persia, but Armenia still exists. Persia, it's not Iran anymore. It's something else. I forgot what countries existed here, but Iran didn't go all the way here. Afghanistan still has western borders, but all right. So this is what I kind of understand a bit more. So this is Persia. It took all the Shia areas. I got it wrong before. It wasn't Sunni. This is Sunni Shia. Yeah, Sunni Shia. Uh, but correct me if I'm wrong. So Qatar, it's within the Sunni camp, and Bahrain. One of them, I think one of them, which is Sunni, but still likes like the Iranians, even though it's got a political connection. So it's a well-off Arab country. I don't know which one, but you put that in the comment section. So Afghan, Balochistan. Okay. So here's what's happening here. Pakistan doesn't exist. This used to be Pakistan. So the Indians lost a chunk of Ladakh, but it gained this little area that Afghanistan never wanted to have in the first place. It's got the British actually made Afghanistan have this little sliver of land, so they'd have a little land border between, little buffer state between itself, the British India back in the olden times of the Indians. They wanted to have a little border between themselves and the Russian Empire at that time. It was the Soviet Soviet people. So India, huh? This is India proper. Kashmir is kind of independent, but but they're still dependent because they're landlocked, and India's gonna give it stuff. The Punjab and Sindh. This is Pakistan proper. This is like the heartland of Pakistan. Punjab, Balochistan is like the desert area. Nobody really lives there. Chinese trying to do a Belt and Road initiative. So it's not looking good for the Chinese in Balochistan because the Gwadar port, there's a lot of terry attacks, and all these terries go get all touchy feely with the Chinese, and the Chinese have to go back. So until these terries are gone, the Chinese are gonna have to stay in China. So that kind of murked the entire Gwadar port for uh for the Chinese. And in Sindh, it's a lot like Gujarat. Sindh has got his own little like breakaway movement from Pakistan because nobody really wants to be a part of Pakistan. I mean, it's just the truth, honestly. Like it's the Pakistani. I had nothing against Pakistani people, but the government kind of it's mismanaged, horribly mismanaged. Like here's the thing: a lot of these high-ranking Pakistani people they extract the wealth from Pakistan and they move it to London or the United States. So yeah, these they send their not their best and brightest, but the most Machiavellian of their and the well-connected Pakistanis, they moved abroad because it's not that stable. Everyone knows it. India, yeah, India is becoming. India kind of got thick then as far as the influence it has, but still it got a bit thin. India proper kind of lost Kashmir, Punjab. It's more than just. Yeah, I think India gave a part of its own Punjab. Pakistan, it's in the Persian area, Persian influence. So that's a good thing. I guess the Tajiks kind of gain a lot of influence because that's Persia and they speak Persian. So the Pashtuns, I don't think it worked out well for the Pashtuns because the all right. So right now, as of now, it's October 2021. As far as I know, it's before the winter, so the Pashtuns are not doing. It's not going to do too well because the United States are holding the bank reserves $9 billion that it needs to pay its workers. There's no currency going inside of Afghanistan, so sucks for them. Uh, sucks for them, but they're not doing too well. It's a mountainous country, so this so unity is and centralization is very very difficult. So not working out well for them. Let's take a look at India. So India's got its own little influence area. I don't know if it let go of its old Hinduism traditions, but it has to let go to prosper because it's insular. It's reactionary to the Islamist movements. So Bangladesh is no more. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, it definitely sucks, but it is what it is, you know. But it got Arunachal Pradesh, and but it lost to some of this. So whatever happened after Xi and it probably happened after Xi because I don't think I don't think they exist as much after this. So the Altai Mountains, the Tuvia, I think is a Tuvia, but yeah, China expanded. It's got the holding in Mongolia. It's a new country. So I believe it's based out of yeah, this is probably where the heartland is, the main area, the Baikal region, because that's one of the biggest water sources. And did it get thick? Kind of got it. Kind of got thin over here. It kind of got thin over here. But what did it gain? Gain this area. I don't think this used to be a part of China. Yeah, it definitely did gain in the north. But how much of that is good land? I don't know. But it's got influence over this country, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. It's all part of the Sinosphere now. I don't know if they're getting Sinicized, but Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, just the sheer and Borneo. Wow, Indonesia doesn't exist in this world. Sucks to be them. So the Indic sphere of influence goes all the way down to the Sumatran Islands because that's where the Srivijaya Empire from the south of India had its influence back for 1,000 years ago almost. Yeah, like 1,000 years from this, actually like 800 years from that, from where this map is 2121. So all these South Asian countries still exist. Vietnam, Laos, yeah, they're good. Good. Thailand kind of got, or is it just like, it's still like that? Singapore is part of the Asian sphere. Sarawak and Borneo. Brunei, yeah, Brunei still exists. Is this part of the American sphere of influence? It's not with anybody. It's not. Doesn't seem like they're with anybody. Huh. Indian Defense Zone. All these. Oh wow. Even part of. I don't know if that's part of Sichuan, but huh. Wow. China lost this, and or is it part of Burma? I can't really tell if the without referencing a modern map, but But yeah, so this is another part of Kansas, Australia proper, and New Zealand. It's got a bit of New Guinea. All these are influenced because yeah, New Guinea and Java, they're definitely under the Anglo influence, and all these little Anglo countries. You got a little bit of France, Fiji, a bunch of Americans, and Japan is split between Japan and Korea is between the Sinosphere and the Americosphere. So it's one pole. So that's a whole rundown of what's happening. Let's take a look at the economic unions we have. All these hmm, all these little areas. So yeah, it's got that's the EU right there, the European Union sphere, the Turkish Neo-Ottoman Empire. We'll call it that Neo-Ottoman Empire. The EAF. It's got its own little influence. I was expecting this to be a part of it, but this is like the Commonwealth, which is the former Anglo colonies in the Cape area. You got little Indians. Got the control the elements. It does. So it's got the Maldives. They still exist for some reason. You know, well, it's all global warming. I thought global warming would have taken care of them, but they apparently still exist on stilts. You got the Sinosphere, and you got Nepal and Bhutan, and hmm, they got their own thing. And I'm surprised these countries in the interior aren't part of any union because seems like they're dependent on some things. So India probably lost a chunk of Ladakh, but it gains a part of Afghanistan near the Badakhshan region. So Badakhshan went to thin Badakhshan, and India took it's slanted Kashmir. It's not really thick Kashmir anymore. It doesn't have Ladakh, but it did get the Arunachal Pradesh, and this I'm not sure if this is part of China or Myanmar, but Myanmar seems kind of unstable at the moment. Yeah, but that's pretty much it.